Welcome to Talking Bengals, a Bengals site made by the fans for the fans. Check out Talking Bengals on iTunes, Google Play, Buzzsprout, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on YouTube. Now, let's join the conversation. Hello and welcome to Talking Bengals, episode 18. It's going to be a fun one this week. We're into the off-season grind, as I'd like to call it. We're past the draft, signing draft picks, but not a whole lot else is going on. But I'm joined by Nick, as always. How you doing, Nick?
Doing good tonight, Casey. How about you?
Well, I'm hanging in there, like I said. Well, there's not been a whole lot of eventful news this week, but we're going to make the best of what we got to work with. So starting off with the topics right now, we did sign a few more draft picks. So what do you think about that?
I think it's a good thing that we're signing these draft picks early. Signing them early, getting that out of the way. It shows that these guys are willing to play for us and they're ready to start working. Which is what the NFL is. It's a job. So, in essence, they're ready to start working and start getting the job done. So, hopefully things start panning out for us and that, they start performing and, come August, preseason time, we can start seeing what the performance is.
Well, the good news is we got a lot of draft picks signed. The bad news is it's not really anybody at the top of the draft. We did get John Ross signed, which was good, but it's like everybody from round 4 through 7 is now signed, except for I don't think Malone ended up signing it. I'd have to double check. But, yeah, it's just like there's one big one that everyone's kind of been waiting on. The king of the controversy is still not signed his rookie deal yet. So it makes you start to wonder about Mixon. Already come in with question marks, and you're behind the first-round draft pick who was already signed. So that makes me concerned. What's your rebuttal with Mixon?
I could take him or leave him. Performance on the field, he's good on the field, but you're going to keep on going back. What about the locker room? What about off-field? Pac-Man Jones type thing. I don't know, man. Mixon, if he could just sign and get it out of the way, nobody else is going to take him because of the off-field antics. He's not going to get traded or get let go or anything like that. The Bengals are here to have him and to give him a chance. He needs to just sign and get it over with.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he's waiting for. If he's just not been on the Bengals priority list for negotiations because they've been trying to snag a few others. But, yeah, if he was smart and wants to start his pro career off right, he would just go ahead and sign, take a decent deal, and just be done with it and start showing that he's here to work, he's here to focus, he's not all about the money. Because how ridiculous would that be if he's a second week of the season holdout? This guy that everybody's like, no, you shouldn't have drafted because of this, and whatever, and then he ends up actually being a holdout, costing the Bengals and making them look even dumber than they did on draft day. But we'll go on to a better subject here, something, with greener pastures. And Mother's Day was this past weekend, and I know Major League Baseball dedicated, the breast cancer awareness games, and everybody's wearing pink, using pink bats. And breast cancer is a big thing that the NFL likes to support, the MLB likes to support, different organizations like to support. But it always seems like that's the only major issue that gets as much airtime or as much exposure as it does. Breast cancer is a big deal, but there's lots of other worthy causes. Nick, this is a subject that you brought up, so I'm going to let you run with it.
You got a lot of different illnesses and ailments that you can look into. Not only breast cancer, you got heart disease, you got lung disease. You got autism, you have mental illness. You got organizations like NOMI who go out, or NAMI, that go out and they try to make aware that mental illness has a bad stigma on them. Some people just can't control that. So I think it's a good thing that they should probably put a section in some form of NFL week or something like that for, I don't know, autism awareness or, mental illness awareness or, anything. Anything more than just breast cancer. Yes, everybody loves, to support breast cancer because just face it, we're all men. So, but just because it's breast cancer, yeah, I understand. Breast cancer is a big thing. It can spread to other areas, and it's very dangerous. But skin cancer, most Americans are affected by skin cancer in some form, shape, or way, and some of them don't even realize it. And then you have colon cancer. There's all these other cancers, brain cancer. There's just a lot of good causes that the NFL kind of looks past, I guess. I think that there's a lot of good causes that I think that the NFL could pick up on. That not only could they bring more attention to it, but they could also, for their business side, make more money on it.
I agree with you totally. And like I said, breast cancer is a very big deal. And I appreciate how much, some of these professional sports organizations have, embraced it and try to run with it, get the awareness out there. But, we're talking about the different things. One thing that I'd like to see, which would be a good way to raise awareness and also very comical, why is no NFL team doing No Shave November? That's what I'm wondering about. Or Movember, just get the mustaches going. That would be pretty awesome. I wonder what some of these players would look like with a mustache. Could you imagine Andy Dalton with a mustache? I think that'd be pretty ridiculous and ridiculously funny. But there's lots of good causes out there, like you said. So we need to the NFL needs to just get together and realize that there's more out there that they can market. And like you said, they make money off of these jerseys. So all these jerseys and hats and shirts, and this shouldn't be about the money, but proceeds, part of that does go to these organizations. So yeah, do a No Shave November and have mustache T-shirts or something, and that could raise money for all these other causes as well. Get an autism jersey with the different symbol with like the puzzle pieces and everything. People would buy them, and then what is that internally doing? Yes, it's making the team some more money, but it's really getting some more money out there for the research and to help out these different worthy causes. So last season, the Bengals were devastated by the loss of one particular player, the only offensive weapon they really had last season, A.J. Green. And A.J. came out this past week and was talking about how he feels like he's going to be able to make it back this season. I don't know, Nick. What are you thinking?
I think that, he's a professional athlete and he knows his body and he knows how well he's feeling. I think that if he has high hopes of returning this season, I think he has high hopes of returning this season. And I'm going to have those high hopes that he's going to return as well. I'm going to trust his word. Very rarely do I do that, but, with a professional athlete, he's going to know what his body is going to do, how his body is reacting. If he can return at 100% and go out and perform, and he feels comfortable doing that, and he feels like he can do that, and his hopes are just as high as what he needs them to be, and that he can perform as high as his hopes want to be, heck yeah, all power to him. I have high hopes too. I hope AJ Green returns, because then John Ross will be just as good, and then maybe Joe Mixon might be able to sign and get all that out of the way and be able to show up at running back, and then have a force to be reckoned with as him coming out of the running back to be maybe a slot receiver or something else, and having Jeremy Hill still in the backfield. There's plenty of options, but AJ Green is one of the big deals. Every Bengals fan is hoping that AJ Green comes back this season. I don't think that anybody is going to say that they don't hope that he comes back this season, because quite frankly, he's our receiver. He's our number one. So if he thinks he can come back this season, I'm hoping with him. I'm hoping and praying with him. So hopefully he can come back and make.
Well, he didn't rush back last season. He's taken time to recover. He's done all of the rehab and taken the baby steps, and he's had lots of rest. So he should come back, and he will probably be there on the opening game unless some other issue happens. But what I'm worried about is longevity. This is not the first major injury he's had. This is not the first time he missed a lot of the season. Can the Bengals rely on him for an entire season? It's just something that worries me, because last year they didn't seem to have much once he went down. And yes, you got John Ross, you got Joe Mixon, you got a few other guys who could contribute potentially, but are they that guy? Like I mentioned a couple weeks ago with Andy Dalton, he has to be comfortable with you. He has to be comfortable with you. I think that's the biggest reason that Brandon LaFell is back this season, is the fact that Andy Dalton said, I'm really comfortable with LaFell now, so can we just keep him around so I don't have to break in another receiver because it's going to take me half a season to do that? So I don't know. I feel like maybe the bigger problem is because, AJ Green is a great player and he's really irreplaceable. It's hard to say that, you could just find a AJ Green off the streets because it's not going to happen. But the underlying problem with it is that Andy Dalton is just not a top tier quarterback. Now, I don't think he's a bum by any means. I don't think he, should be a backup. I think he deserves to be a starting quarterback, but he's not that top tier. He's not a Tom Brady-esque quarterback or, an Aaron Rodgers or somebody that's in the game right now that I would consider to be an elite quarterback. He's just not that guy. And I really honestly don't think he'll ever become that guy. I mean, look at some of these receiving cores that Tom Brady has had to work with or Aaron Rodgers has had to work with. I know there's only two I keep harping on because they continue to have success with guys that are not top-tier receivers. They're not great. You don't see a whole lot of, Pro Bowl receivers coming out of New England. Yeah, you had Wes Walker there for a while, but other than that, they're really good, but they're not great. But Andy Dalton has had A.J. Green his entire pro career, so he's been able to lean on him. And every time A.J. has gone out, there's been struggles. There's been troubles. And it's just not worked out very well for the Bengals. So I don't know. I hope A.J. comes back. I hope he stays healthy throughout the entire season. But Andy Dalton's got to grow. If the Bengals want to really make it anywhere, they want to get past the end of the playoffs and past that first round, it's up to Andy Dalton to grow. He's got to get better. He's got to be that tough-nosed player. He's got to be that Cincinnati-esque player, get the mentality of the community, get that behind him, which leads me right into our topic. We're going back to our 50th season reflections this week, and it may be too soon for some people, but he did a lot for the community. He did a lot for the team. So our reflection this week is going to be on Domata Peko. The big old 94 was there for a long time, getting the crowd pumped up and just doing great things. I mean, it's going to be weird not to see the hair out there, him out there doing his little belly rub when he makes a good play. So it's going to be a little bittersweet this season, but he definitely deserves some time. So what do you got?
I think that the Bengals are going to miss Peko, but I don't think they're going to miss him in such a way that's going to hurt the team. I mean, you got players that they're talking about they're going to be fine. Their defensive ends and their three techniques and their nose guards, they're going to be fine. I hope that they're right, but I mean, in my personal opinion, I think that the Bengals are going to hurt from not having Peko. He was a playmaker. He was a leader. He was somebody on the field and off the field that was there not only to boost morale on the field, but also to boost it off the field. And he was that kind of guy. I mean, I actually got the pleasure of meeting him a couple times. Very nice individual. I mean, as a man, he's a good man. So I mean, I just think that the Bengals are going to be hurting a little bit. So hopefully they don't, but I just think they will.
So he was never the best defensive tackle on the team, especially when he was next to Geno. I mean, Geno is just an unbelievable talent and a top-tier great player. But like you said, it's what he brought off the field. It's what the attitude he brought to the field. He made the game entertaining. He made it fun to watch. And he's one of those guys that you would want to watch to see, what he's going to do next, what dance he's going to do. They're going to put him in there to, block on a running play near the goal line. So it just made life exciting. He's just one of those people you enjoyed to watch. He brought you to the games because you enjoyed just seeing what he was going to do. It was just fun. So, I mean, 10 years with the Bengals, that's a big, big stint of time. I honestly was wondering if he would stick around or if he'd just go ahead and retire. But I just really wish him the best, in his future endeavors and hope he enjoys playing in Denver and hopefully gets a good amount of playing time. But, just thank you for all the great things you did and the memories you gave us. Coming out of Michigan State, I remember, I saw him playing in college one time. I was like, that guy seems like a character because he made a sack and did some kind of dance. And I was like, he'd probably be interesting to watch every week. And I was right. So he was always just one of those guys where he had a little bit of controversy on questionable penalties, but he always made it fun. And he was always a good member of the community. And like I said, if you saw him out and about, because I saw him in the mall once or twice, he'd wave at you. He'd be friendly with people. So just a great person for Cincinnati, a great community person. So hopefully he does great things. And that is our reflection for this week. So thank you, Domata. So Nick, lead us into Roasted or Boasted.
So I got the pleasure of coming up with the roast or boasted topic this week. I really have been thinking pretty hard about it, but I guess I kind of know what Casey's going to say, but I'm going to ask him anyway. Keeping score in the Pee Wee / Pop Warner football leagues, is that a good or bad idea?
It is absolutely a good idea. I have to boast that. You play to win the game. You can't teach kids that everybody gets a trophy. We're just going to play for the fun, kids. No, that's a bunch of crap. You got to teach kids, it's okay to lose. You don't have to like losing, but it's okay to lose. And if you don't have a score up there, everybody's a winner, and you made everybody think the world is about sunshine and butterflies and rainbows, all you're doing is setting people up for failure later in life. You need to learn how to lose early in life because that's what gives you the motivation to be successful. That's what gives you the drive to get back off the ground, pick yourself up, and run back down the field. And that can actually, do great things for you later in life. When you fail a test, you're not just going to curl up in a ball and cry. When you have a bad adversity happen to you in your life, you lose your job, you get cut from a team, you have something bad happen to you, you're not just going to curl up in a ball in the fetal position and bawl your eyes out and hope somebody comes and takes care of you. You're going to learn my favorite R word, resilience. You're going to pick yourself up. So by taking away the score, you're not doing the kids a benefit. You're doing them a giant disservice because you're making them weak. You're making them part of this everybody gets a trophy generation. And it just burns me up even thinking about it. You play to win the game. And to win the game, you have to have points. You don't have to love winning. And a matter of fact, you shouldn't love winning. You should hate losing, but you have to learn how to lose in life, lose with class, get back up, and win next time. So boast it, boast it, boast it, boast it, boast it. You have to have points.
I'm just going to paraphrase Rocky. The last real Rocky movie before they made Creed. It's not about how many times you get hit. It's about how many times you get back up from getting hit. I mean, to learn how to lose, like Casey was saying, you don't have to like losing. You don't have to like winning. But you got to learn how to do both and to do both with class. A lot of the best players in the NFL and in the MLB and all the professional sports, they've played on those teams where the team just was awful. And they understood what losing was. That somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. And that when you lose, you got to learn from your mistakes and go out and try to correct them the next game. So, to not keep score is stupid. It's beyond ignorant in my mind. It's creating a society in today's world where our kids, they don't understand, what did I do wrong? I go to an interview and, I felt like I said all the right things, but, it's not about that. It's about having an attitude of knowing I don't care if I win or lose. I'm going to do it with class and I'm going to do the best that I can. And whether or not I win or lose doesn't matter. It's that I know I didn't leave anything off. I didn't leave anything on that field. I know that I didn't stop playing. I know that no matter what, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to pick myself up by the bootstraps, and I'm going to continue rolling. To learn how to lose, losing sucks, but, you got to learn how to lose. I played on some terrible teams myself, and good Lord, that was some of the worst times of my life. Playing on a team that I knew every week going into a football game that there's no chance, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that I'm gonna come out of this game with a win. But I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna pound some dirt, and I'm gonna put some people in the ground. I'm gonna go out there and hit some people as hard as I can, and I'm gonna make a difference in this game, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make that difference. So, learning how to lose is part of the game. Casey?
So with that in mind, this whole topic, winning, losing, points in games brought me to my bottom of the email quote. Yes, I'm obnoxious. Yes, I have a bottom of my signature block quote. and it says, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, and I prefer to let the other guy lose. Better words have never been spoken by Pete Rose, except for maybe the gasoline suit walking through where. But yeah, that's just the whole thing. Kids got to learn how to lose. And that brings us to our final thoughts, because you got to learn how to lose and win. Let me prefer, you got to be classy like we just said. So, Nick, what are your final thoughts for tonight?
My final thoughts is that the Bengals let all the teams lose this season. Quite frankly, I'll build on your Pete Rose comment. Just because, quite frankly, I love Pete Rose. Just quite frankly, we need to find a way to let the other team lose. Continue to keep yourself in the game. Let the other teams make mistakes. Play good fundamental football and go out there and utilize every weapon that we have. I think that the Bengals coming into this upcoming season, they have enough weapons. They have enough wide receivers that can make plays. They have running backs that can make plays. They have linemen that can play the game. They have a quarterback who can throw to those receivers. They have a defensive line, linebackers and DBs that can make those plays. I think that the Bengals need to just keep their head within themselves and just let the other team lose. Plain and simple, just let the other team lose. That's it. So, Casey, I'll let you go into yours.
So my final thoughts for this week are kind of just going to build off of, doing good things for other people. Hashtag hunt the good stuff, as we like to say in the Army in our Master Resiliency training, which I've been sitting in for the last 2 weeks. But, we're talking about charity this show. So when it comes to charity, everybody just get out there and find a cause that you'd like to take a part in, whether it's, donating to something, whether it's volunteering your time. Just do something bigger and above yourself. Make the world a better place. You got all these different organizations that are trying something. So just take 5-10 minutes out of your day, find something you can help and contribute to your community. All right, so that is all I have for this week, and I want you guys to have a great one. Follow us on iTunes, Google Play, iTunes, Google Play. Jesus, please lose my voice. Buzzsprout. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and that's all we got for this week. Hooday.
Hey, Casey, hold on a sec.
Oh, we got one more thing. Next had a comment.
Just going on based on the week. This week is Police Week in the United States of America, where we honor the law enforcement officers who have died this year and in the previous years, sacrificing their lives, not only for their communities, but for the betterment of the United States of America and our constitutional rights. I just think that there's no better place to say thank you to all of our law enforcement officers, current, past, and present, and future law enforcement officers. Just thank you for serving our communities.
Now that's definitely something that deserves a loud and rowdy hooday. Join us next week. Have a great week, everybody.